Today is the day. I have been waiting for this. We knew it was coming soon, but Slipknot have finally dropped a new track. So, gotta bring out the merch. So, my name's Cheddar Paul. Welcome to the video. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, this is they put up a teaser yesterday on Twitter, and it was just basically, it had times and stuff, and then at midnight GMT they dropped this song, announced that the new album will be coming out on September 30th, and I believe the album is called The End So Far, which will be quite interesting. They were teasing the beginning of the end. So The End So Far. I think there's a little more of an undertone to that than, like, I don't think it's as much of a big deal with titles and stuff as much as people would think. I think this is just a cool way of promotion, so it's good. Before we go any further, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I really hope we're nearly at 100 subscribers, so thank you very much for all those people joining and all the amazing comments you guys have been leaving, either from enjoying the reactions or engaging in discussions on music and songs and just any suggestions. So really thank you from the bottom of my heart for the support. So I don't have any kind of inkling on what we were expecting from this. The last two, Slipknot was the reason I got into metal. The first album always stuck with me as a real, raw, dirty piece of music. And like, from my vended reaction, I went into some details about that. So I'll tread old ground again about like how they sort of really, what they kind of mean to me. And that first album really was something. And my first ever live show was Slipknot on the Iowa tour in Brighton in 2002, opened by American Air Charge, In Flames, and 1 Minute Silence. It was a stacked bill. I still one of the best shows I've ever seen for a long time. It was the best show I ever saw. It was, if you've seen the Disaster Pieces DVD, it's that show but 2 days later, and it's just raw energy. And I've seen him a couple of times in London, and then I've seen him at Download Festival a couple of times. This is actually Download Festival merch from 2019. And they're just one of those bands consistently. They just absolutely nail it. I feel like the last few albums kind of have, they've hit their groove on what they like to do. And there's never really any massive surprises. You might get a track like Spiders, which is a little bit more out there from what they normally do, but the heavy metal aspect of it, like, there's Iowa undertones, there's like subliminal verses undertones, and then like All Hope Is Gone, and Volume 5, The Grey Chapter, and it just kind of, there's so many different ways that they've approached it. I think personally, I've been looking for something a little bit different from them. I feel they've got into, like, they're doing a lot of the same stuff, but no matter what, I still love what they do. So I'll never be disappointed. I think I have, like, managing expectations, because there have been a few interviews where they've said, like, at least for the last album that came out, they were going, it was going to be this, it was going to be that, it's going to be Iowa, kind of it. And I never feel like it really had that rawness. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. I'm ready. Is that a Slipknot disco ball? That's amazing. That's so cool. Always keen to see what videos they come up with, because they can be pretty interesting. Wait for it.
Put your hands into the water, let your mouth go sick and dry. Put your life into your death now, let them sing till you die. Die!
Oh, there we go. That's the punch I was waiting for. I was sitting there going, because that intro was super interesting. It, like, Corey's voice is just so just like, oh, and that intro was just all the right notes. I kind of want to go again, and then just when it kicks. When like Slipknot know how to write riffs and beats that are just going to tear down the place. Like the pit is going, the crowd is going. Yes.
Put your hands into the water, let your mouth go sick and dry. Put your life into your...
And also that mask. I know he's been playing with this mask recently, but I actually am on board with this. Like, it looks like button eyes, and I feel that like, I think they've done a really good job with this one. I think there are some masks that are a bit hit and miss. The last one was not so much of a hit. A lot of people didn't like it. I understand why, because it was just basically see-through and it was about the makeup underneath. But at the same point, they always make their look so unique and different. And the change dynamic goes with the theme. So let's go for it.
Death now, let them sing till you die. Die, 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 die. You radical, rather than rhetorical, babble like an oracle. Why am I always in your debt? Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, communist, comatose. Show me all the ways that are bad. The middle of a nuclear winter is a modern achievement of the retro-apocalyptic horde. Satan, you must be mistaken. There are no more Satans, only the bosses of the board. Forget, deny, ignore, nice, try, it's you. Regret, rely, remorse inside of you.
Okay, quickly, like, firstly, that guitar riff is absolutely stomping. Where they've just, like, brought into the actual, when it sort of goes from the main riff, this just gets you in such a mood just to go into a mosh pit and just go for it. But I want to point out, I was like, his Sid's new mask, he's gone more robotic as the years. Like, I think it's very interesting that, like, with the the extensive amounts of money that they can kind of put into this kind of stuff, like, Sid definitely pushes it, like, very, very hard. And, like, he's got mechanical arms and just, it's always so interesting. It's so good.
Inside of you.
Before we get into that kind of breakdown bit, like, the one thing that I've really like what they're doing is, like, the one thing that they've got quite good with now is getting, like, it's a real heavy metal song, and then they can bring the harmonies for the chorus. Like, Corey's voice is just getting so good for it over the years, and it just blends so well. When you talk about, like, stuff, I always think of stuff like Sulfur. Sulfur was always an absolute classic for me. I thought that track was really well put together. Just the blend of heavy metal and also harmonies and, like, clean vocals that just still have a punch to it, but aren't just a complete heavy metal the whole way through. Like, if you think of, like, Sick and Surfacing and stuff like that, which is mostly just pure people equal shit, that kind of pure aggression. So they know how to write absolutely good songs that will even be very radio friendly to a certain degree when it comes to heavy metal, but also just still for the hardcore fans as well. And also, was that Michael's new mask? Let's see if we can find it. Because he always had that pancake mask, and it's Like, you can kind of see it, but he's definitely got more slits on the eyes and more of a mouth, where before it was just like a peel. It looked like somebody had made his mask out of paper mache. There's like one frame there. There's just one frame where it's clear. There you go. Yeah, so it was zip on the mask, like more. Somebody's actually upgraded. I like the neck stuff though. That's pretty cool. And Mick is looking trim. It's always a treat watching a new Slipknot video, like the first one of a new album, because you're always looking at like how they present, like where they're at, and like the new outfits. But man's looking very trim. That's some cool bass work. There you go. There's some clearer. Where's it gone? Much clearer picture of is it Michael? That's cool. I like the way that he sort of changed up his outfit, like actual outfit, not just the mask as well. But yeah, new masks look really good. The song itself so far has been really good. I know they're getting into the breakdown now, so let's not hesitate too much. It's just like, oh, I'm just gonna hang out here for a bit. Don't mind me. If that's a thumbnail, I don't know. If that isn't the thumbnail, I don't know what it is. And so I know I keep stopping it, firstly, mainly because of copyright, but also like the fact that I want to discuss like with this. Clown's head is a glitter ball. I've really struggled to see what his head was like, but yeah, he's an absolute glitter ball. Whew. That's a bit of a roller coaster, that one. Alright. So, video I know was directed by Clown. So, that kind of... He always generally does their directing. And his directing is very unique. Like, he always puts us... He's very much in his own style and stuff like that. And it always works so well for them. And this was a really good video, in my opinion. I think that the actual video itself, like, before we move on to the actual music, it was a nice little style. Like, there was so many different elements of just, like, camera effects. Like, just, like, distorting the actual video itself. I thought was a really nice effect. So even just, like, their arms and that looked really good. Musically, this is absolutely it's just a banger. Like, this is This is one of those Slipknot songs that I would call it like a modern classic. Like, I don't think that they were ever quite... I would love to think that one day we would get something that was such an anthem, like surfacing again, but I think those days are done. And I really hate to say that because it feels like I'm taking away from how good this is. This is the kind of song that I can see being on repeat. It will become a staple of live shows. There is also the track listing has leaked online. It's been up there for a few days from what I've seen. So might be able to see that here. Cue editing. And then it's kind of one of those things that, like, it sets the tone for an album. The Chapeltown Rag is going to be on that album as well, and I quite like that song. I thought that song was quite good. There are little things that each album's got a little tone difference. Like, it's very subtle, but I feel that they're able to, while they're able to keep on putting out music like this, they're just going to keep on becoming the biggest metal band in the planet. Like, Metallica are just kind of there. They've got like 40 years on this. And they are like the 80s biggest metal band. And I think Slipknot is the Metallica of that generation. And that's why they can be quite polarizing. I find opinions of Slipknot can be very up and down. You know, there are a lot of people like myself who stand by them and they're diehard fans. And then you've got these people that have just gone, oh, they're not what they used to be. And I all for you. If this is not what you like, then that's totally respectable. But they are consistent. They are always consistent. They always up their live show game, and they are just something. Not very rarely do you have a Slipknot in your lifetime ever come along, and not everybody can be a Slipknot. So, for a band that has so many members, they've had lineup changes, and I kind of feel like they're a bit like they're going to supersede their own legacy. So they've always said that they would like Slipknot to carry on regardless of if they've got the same members or not. Personally, I'm one of those people. I don't think that you can kind of do that without it being kind of tarnished a little bit. Like, Slipknot for me is Corey Taylor on vocals, and that is something I don't think you can change, because he's just, the writing is just so intricate. And Corey Taylor is another example of not every generation gets a Corey Taylor. There are very few people who are just so amazing with the lyrics, amazing with the vocals, dynamic. He's done so many projects. I've seen Stone Sour. I saw him 4 times in 1 year, but I've seen them about 8 times. And that's another sort of show of what he can do, his solo stuff. And then you've got people like Clown. Clown is just such a generational, like, artist. He's definitely like an artist. He's not really as much of a musician, but he brings something to this that just changes the dynamic. And I think once you lose those kind of intricate parts, that it could start falling apart. But we've got many years left of Slipknot. There is no stopping this train. And I, for one, couldn't be more excited for the new album. So, let me know what you think. Genuinely keen to hear what your Slipknot thoughts are. What do you think of the song? What do you hope from the album? And any suggestions? I will react to every single new Slipknot song that drops. Don't you worry about that. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.